Ooh. Okay, so hello everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're all well. This is Hot Wheels Stunt Track Challenge for the PC, and this is the any % category. So to kind of list off about what this game is all about, so you go through 6 game shows, starting with Jurassic Jam and working your way through to Lava Land, or as I call it, Hell, because it's full of flames and volcanoes and all that good stuff. There's a variety of races and also stunt challenges and things like that, hence the reason the Stunt Track Challenge, so you'll see different things. There is like a bit of racing in here as well, to kind of keep things fresh, but yeah, here we go. So I'll give you a countdown. So it'll start from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So the first thing we're going to do is, this is Jurassic Jam. Now you have to hit the green rev counter, and as you go through these jumps, your car can be rotated left or right, depending on which way you rotate your analog stick. And then once you've got enough boost, oops, there we go. There we go. That's what I meant to do. Press the boost button. Once you've got enough boost, that's what you do, you just boost to the end. So that's basically just first challenge finished. It's very easy. And we're also going to get autosaves. Also, say hello to the truck that we're going to be using for the races. So there is 6 game shows altogether, which equates to 12 races. Most of these races will literally take you in the region of between about 1.5 to 3 minutes, there or thereabouts. So we're going to pick these flames up, we're going to get some flames, and that's going to allow us to get up to maximum speed. Now the reason why we picked the truck is simply because of the fact that the truck is actually the fastest vehicle that you can pick at the start. The trucks do handle a bit differently to like the sports cars. So most of the run is using these trucks just for the races until we get to Lava Land. So when we get to Lava Land, we're going to be using a sports car. It's the only time we actually change cars. We do use a variety of vehicles when it comes to the races and things like that. So yeah, we'll see how things go. So that is the same race. So now what we do is we have these game shows. And what we do with those is, all we do is we just go into the menu and we quit those. So basically we skip these. So you do actually skip events, hence the reason any percent. If you were to do 100%, then obviously you'd have to do those. But we're not going to have to do them, so that's fine. Also, so this is a freestyle event. Now in freestyle events, you have a variety of things that you can do, and basically allows you to, you have to take these teeth out. Now you can use the timer up if you wish. You don't have to use the timer, but you can if you want to. But for the most part, it's just a case of just going to jump, and you want to try and take 2 of these teeth out in one go. That's ideal. And also we're going to boost as well and do several front flips here to land the car. Good stuff. And now what we're going to do is, if I can boost this just right. Couldn't, that's a shame. Oh well, we've got to come back round again. Get that last tooth. That crooked last tooth on that dinosaur. So I'm going to just boost all the way. If you hold your boost, now normally I don't hold the boost. But for the most part you can do. So the boost works in 1 or 2 ways. You can either just tap the boost and go from there. Or what you can do is you can just hold the boost button and use all your boost in one go. Now I didn't even know about this for the longest of time. So on this particular race we don't actually need to hit any of these boxes. I'm going to hit them for the sake of, right, okay, they're right in front of me, so I might as well hit them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to land on this middle one here, like that. Just like that. That's the challenge finished. A lot of these are like little sprint challenges, you could say. Which is quite nice. Also got another game break. So again, we're going to quit this. Now, there is several of these, so just be aware of that. But we're going to get through this first. This first game show will actually go by pretty fast. And because we've got some boost, which is nice. Get some boost here as well. Now you do have a handbrake and you have a genuine brake if you want. You don't have to do it. Nice. Oh, that was close. Very close. Nice. Good stuff. So you have to make sure you don't fall off them. You can easily fall off them if you're very unfortunate. Again, we're going to use our blue truck. So we use this blue truck of ours. We're going to use that for, I think it's like the first 2 or 3 game shows, if I'm not mistaken. And then we we upgrade to something called the Mega Duty truck. And the Mega Duty is basically a lot faster of a truck. So I'm going to keep my boost here, and then I'm going to boost to the end like this. And basically, it allows us to not only jump ahead, but we can also get some more boost. So the whole idea is to just try and keep the boost going from start to finish if you can. And you want to try and pick these up. And basically, this is where the game is more a racing side. So you obviously want the fastest laps as fast as you can. You do have to avoid obstacles and stuff like that, so just be aware. Very cautious about that. Let them boost. Nice. So basically you'll notice that I'm only able to use the boost when it turns up orange. So if it wasn't orange, or even yellow like it is now, so we've got a full boost bar, if it's not like that, then you're not able to use boost. So it's not like a case of, say, Burnout where, oh okay, you've got a full boost bar and there's a little bit left that you can use it. No, if there isn't much boost, then you can't use it. Which is unfortunate, but it doesn't matter. That's fine. I can use a bit of a boost here as well. I'm going to collect some more here as well. So, if you use boost going over the big ramps like that whilst you're doing flips, it actually makes things a lot easier. Like I said, for the most part, it's more a racing game at heart, this one. But that doesn't mean it's not an absolute blast to play, because I really do enjoy this. Which is very nice.
No, it looks like there's a lot of variation in the style and gameplay.
Speaking of which, that's actually our first game show done. And now we move on to the second one. Now the second one is actually my least favourite game show. Mainly because it's called The Black Widow's Nest. And it's full of spiders. And because I'm arachnophobic and I don't like spiders, yeah. Fair to say, me and this particular game show do not work well. So I'm going to just do this. So I'm going to boost and try and get my backside off here. And hopefully we land fine. Nice.
I'm with you, I'm not a spider fan.
I mean, even though this is just a game, it still freaks me out quite a fair bit as well. I should also mention as well is that, so this game released on the PC, the PlayStation 2, and the original Xbox, and it is actually backwards compatible with the Xbox 360 if you've got one of those. And there's also a Game Boy Advance port as well, so if anyone sees this game and wants to play it on the Game Boy Advance, feel free to do so. You may have noticed as well that there is these red areas and also bombs on the track. Now if you hit the bombs, unfortunately, it means that you'll slow down and lose a lot of your speed, so you have to make sure you don't hit those. It's just a case of make sure you're very careful, dodge them as best as you can, and yeah, apart from that, the rest of the races are pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. It's, like I said, the races are fairly straightforward. It's just 3 laps of a circuit. Knowing when to use your boost is kind of crucial as well, because you don't really want to use boost if, for example, you know for a fact that you're going to gain more speed somewhere else. So, like in this track, for example, you have these booster pads. That's what the blue pads are, which are always used for stunts. But like now, for example, I don't really use boost as much when I go through ramps. If I only have a little bit and I need to recharge a lot of it, then I'll use the boost, just hold the boost down and then go from there. But yeah, it's a fairly straightforward game, like I said, very enjoyable as well. For me, being a racing fan and everything, I took to this pretty well. But this game actually came to our attention via a community that I'm part of called Blind Runners. So basically, it was a case of Blind Runners. It's basically a community where you have a choice between 3 games that get picked randomly from a database that is suggested by other people, as runners and other players alike, and then it's up to us. We put on a weekly race at the weekend, and then it's a case of runners will get together and try and speedrun that game. So in this case, it'll be like, right, okay, so I've got to basically run this, you know, I've got to run this game, for example. You don't have to, they're not mandatory, they are compulsory. But yeah, it's, like I said, quite a fun little game. Very fun. I'm very glad that it got suggested. I forget who it was that was suggested it, but yeah, very, very fun. Also, this is extreme jumps. So extreme jumps is basically where you have to jump through these rings. The higher up you go, the better your score gets. So we have a target, as you can see. And we're going to boost as soon as we hit the ground. Like that. Good stuff. So we have a slalom next. So the slaloms, there's actually about 2 or 3 of these, I believe. And on this one, they take it fairly easy, but you have to be careful.
I'll have a question if you're free to answer one.
Yeah, sure.
With a lot of racing games, movement and stuff tends to be incredibly optimized, and I know you're I don't know if it's a specialty of yours, but I know you run a lot of racing games. How optimized would you say this run is, with it being a little more cartoony and a little maybe less physics dependent?
Well, it's a funny thing you should ask that. So at one point, I think it was not long after I picked the game up and started to play this game for myself, that we actually found a couple of unique strats. I found one in particular, this one, that I'm about to do. And the long story short on this was, I was running the game briefly and it was not really very well optimized. We didn't know what the maximum was capable of. But then since I did my run and did this, should we say, strat, the record has come down substantially. So for example, the record as it stands right now is currently set at I think it's at like, what is it, 53.38, and my PB is currently a 56.11. So it has come down quite well. I think my PB at the time was like a 56 something, and then the guys that have come along, so like Cheesy Monster and a few other guys that have come around, he used to run the game, and I think I'd say still do. They beat the time substantially. It's kind of crazy, really. The time has come down. I wouldn't say it's fully optimized because you can't really get a completely optimized run, but it's probably most of the way there in terms of optimization. So it's all about probably just making a few little, details here and there, and that's kind of it. Also, we use, you may notice I just picked something up there. So basically what that is that unlocks a bonus, should we say, like a bonus route that you can use. And the bonus route is a bit faster usually on the track, so we'll obviously be going for that, for example, on most of the tracks. There is a few that are a bit hard to get. For example, there's one in, I think it's called Tiki Land or something, Tiki Island. So we're going to be having to get that as soon as we get that. Like, we have to boost to get that. It's I actually struggled to get it and I didn't know how, and then I got told off one of the runners. It was like, oh yeah, so you get that by boosting. I was like, oh okay, I didn't know that. So Some of these shortcuts you can only activate via boosting, but most of them are on eye level. If you know where to look, then this game becomes quite easy. The handling of the trucks as well. So I'm using the handbrake on the truck quite a bit just to keep it like on the track, so to speak, and to kill a lot of its speed going around corners. Obviously in a racing game you don't want to kill too much speed, but for sake of being safe and all that good stuff, that's what I usually do, just use the handbrake. Some of the tracks will get more testing as you go, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. So that wasn't a bad Spider Rally either. Good stuff. So we've now won the Super Tune truck, and you always win it after you win that second show. So what we need to do here is just need to pass through these rings. Now ideally what we want is, if we can get it, is if we can get a full boost bar, which we can. Yeah, good stuff we have. Nice. I landed in the red for good measure. Good stuff. So we're already ahead on that one, which is nice. Okay, so here comes the Super Tuned. So this is the card that we're going to be using now for most of the run. So this is Buccaneer Bay. This is like a, if I can call it this, a Pirates of the Caribbean knockoff island. So it's like Pirate Island, basically. So each of the...
I do love this new truck.
Yeah, looks a lot more sporty, doesn't it? Very nice. Looks a lot nicer. I do like this one a lot more than the original. No offense to the original truck, but I do like this one a lot more. Just because of the way it looks. It's a shame, really, because, I mean, before the start of the run, you can customise vehicles. There's nothing in the rules that says you can't customise any vehicles. Customising the vehicles doesn't do anything, by the way. It's just a case of... you just customise them for the sake of things. So usually for like a marathon, like for example, you may have noticed that our truck was like a dark blue colour. I'd customised that before the start of this run, just so it kind of stuck with the theme of the marathon. So I did the same with ESA when I ran this for ESA last year. But yeah, it's like I said, pretty cool game. So on this particular track, there's actually two layouts. You may notice that there's a track above this one when we land. So if you boost, you can gain access to the track on top, and that's usually a little bit faster than the one underneath. Now, if I don't have enough boost or I forget about it, which I'll be honest, I have done a few times already on this run, I'd ideally need to get the top layer. So that top track, if I can. So that particular set of the track always scares me, because you always need to land like bang on, like upright, as soon as you land against the wall. The cars stick to the wall like glue, it's ridiculous. Like the physics are a bit boxy, if I can call it that. They're very arcade-like, so I feel like this would be quite an easy game to pick up for new players. Getting under an hour should be probably a good goal to aim for. And then just working on, final lines from then is probably better, actually. Just to work on those final lines. So yeah, pretty good, good stuff.
Do I have a moment just to run through some of our up and coming runs?
Yeah, sure thing.
Awesome. Well, guys, I'd just like to tell you about some of the up-and-coming runs we've got over the next few hours. We have Just Lee Belmont in Johnny Go running the Great Circus Mystery starring Mickey and Minnie. That should be coming up in about 40 to 30 minutes. Then we have Deadly Zero running Spark and the Electric Jester, doing the Any % Unpatched Spark story. And then we have the Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition by I'm gonna try not to mess this up. Joe Silly Monster. I hope I didn't mess that up. And that's Any % No Ring, which is a longer run, which should be a lot of fun. So we got a great morning and a great afternoon with runs. Just like to remind you, we are here raising money for the Worldwide Veterinary Services, and if anybody does spare a few pennies, we would greatly appreciate that here at Thunderthon. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. I hope you're all enjoying the runs and having a wonderful morning.
Okay, so this freestyle in particular is quite a tricky one. So this is basically like a billiards game. I think it's billiards, isn't it? 8-ball sort of thing. So what we have to do is we have to push these balls into the holes, which we're going to do, hopefully, if I don't mess this up. There we go. Good stuff. So this is actually quite tricky to do, to get first try anyway. Because the balls don't tend to go in the holes too well. So if I can get that in, there we go. Alright, it's there, it's nearly there, it's nearly in. There we go, good stuff. So the balls can disappear, they can go absolutely everywhere. But that one's quite a tricky one to do very quickly, as you might imagine.
As a speedrunner, that screams nightmare to me.
I don't know why, it just seems to be like one of them levels where, like when I did that for the first time, I never managed to put all the balls. I kept running out of time, and after a bit I just managed to get used to it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is fine actually. We're good. Nice. Good stuff. So for those wondering, like, if this game is easy to get hold of, it actually is, believe it or not. So you can actually find it on My Abandonware, out of all places. So it's not like it would be difficult to come by. I'm pretty sure there's PC copies still out there on the market, but yeah, for those that might be interested in potentially looking at running this game, there's only a couple of runners at the moment on the leaderboards, but would highly recommend giving it a try. I mean, like I said, this probably would appeal more to racing fans than anybody else. However, that's not to say that this game wouldn't be fun for the casual player. I myself, I've never really played a Hot Wheels game before, until I played this one. And then when I played this, I was like, damn, this game's actually pretty damn good. So, yeah. You know, it can change even most experienced of players and players that know categories like this, or genres like this, should I say. So it's a very, very cool game, a very cool concept. There is other Hot Wheels games out there. I think there's another stunt one. I forget what it's called though. Yeah, this is the main one that I've been playing pretty much for a good majority of the year. I haven't played it like consistently, but on and off, you know, that sort of stuff. Also, the ending of this this particular race is very tricky. So, I have to be careful there, I don't fall off the end. Nice. Okay, so we're back to doing the races again. So this is Monsters of the Deep, which I find is very, very interesting. It's very cool. So we're basically racing underwater, which is very cool. I do like the themes of the levels and things like that. They definitely make up for the game as... I mean, the game is quite old at this point, but that's not to say that the game doesn't look great. It does play great, it looks great. I don't really see any problems with it, being honest. I think it's, like I said, it's a cracking looking game. Definitely recommend it, like I said. If you get a chance to pick this up and play it for yourself, then definitely do so. You would not regret it. So we're going to boost here so I can get on the top. There we go. So I can get on the top set, because it is a bit faster. So we're going to save a couple of seconds over the AI because of the way we've just been. I forget what the main guy's called in the game. I think he's called like Spike or Max or something, I forget. But he's apparently the guy that hosts all these game shows, so... yeah, if anything goes wrong, blame him. If there's anything that goes wrong on any run, I think you can always just blame him.
It's always good news. It's always good to have a scapegoat.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, anything goes wrong, just blame that guy, because why not? Being honest, like I said, the game, from start to finish, is quite a fun one. Like I said, you explore different themes, so obviously, as you can already tell, we've been through... like a Jurassic Park knockoff, a Spider film knockoff, Pirates of the Caribbean knockoff. Next is like one of the old Indian westerns. So you've got like the Tiki Island sort of thing, and then you've got like a sci-fi one. I forget what that's called, but there's like a sci-fi level. And then finally you've got something that looks like it's out of a, I don't know, like a hell film, you know, something where it's about demons and that sort of stuff. So yeah, pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool.
No, aesthetically the game has a lot of interesting visuals on, and I do appreciate how different the game is from sort of world to world.
It's definitely something that I quite enjoyed when I first played it through, and I was like, yeah, this game is pretty damn good, and I can't see why it wouldn't be a good idea to play this. Also, currently right now I'm beating my PB, which is very nice.
The good runs at Thunderthon continue.
Exactly. Okay, so this is Tiki Island, and immediately I'm just going to say that this is very, very tricky. So I want to try and make sure that I get at least 2 of the flames here, and if I can, try and boost at the end here. There we go. Now this is crucial, because the more I do flips and things like that, there we go, better. Because I want to try and get enough style points, so you have to finish at least 3rd in each of the races. So for example, whenever you finish a race, you have to finish 3rd. If you finish a competition, you have to come at least 3rd. Some of these can be a bit more tricky than other ones. So for the sake of things, what we're going to do is we're just going to try and make sure that nothing bad happens. Let's just kind of go with the flow. Also, that can happen, unfortunately, where you get the guys landing on you. I did want to try and avoid them, but oh well, it's fine. They always seem to hit these, the bombs on the track. I don't know why, but the AI seems to be a sucker for punishment, if I can call it that. And they can also activate the shortcuts too, like so. Which, again, is pretty cool. Nice. So again, because the car is fast, we'll be able to take the AI with ease. It might look difficult, but believe me, once you get out in front, the AI just isn't a challenge anymore. It's fairly straightforward once you get past the AI. You can lose a bit of time. I think I probably did lose a bit of time because I got stuck behind the guys, but that's fine. So, oh my god, that was close.
So is it random if the cars land on you, or is it just a case of bad timing or bad sort of like timing when they get there and you get there?
I think it's just a case of bad positioning. So if you land and they happen to have their speed with them, or the speed is on their side, then you'll tend to find that they'll land on you. But obviously when you get further ahead, like we are now for example, the AI doesn't land on you anymore. Some of the races, especially the first lap, I definitely say it's more the first lap than anything. But yeah, the first lap is usually where you've got the problem of AI being just an absolute pain. Just because obviously you're all at the start, you've got to get past the AI at the start of the races anyway. So if you're able to get past the AI and not get held up or flattened on, you know, crushed by them, then fair to say you can have a pretty good run and pretty good time too. So we're going to pick up this second key here, and we're going to go through this shortcut again. As I said before, the shortcuts do save time. Sometimes it's only like a couple of seconds, but you also want to make sure as well, when you do them jumps where you're lined up on the left hand side, you want to make sure that you are not, and I repeat this, are not like going too quickly. You want to make sure that you do your best and, you know, don't do anything silly, basically. So you have to be very careful. And like I said, these game shows, you do want to skip those. It is important that you skip them. For those that don't know what I'm actually skipping, so they're called game breaks. And basically, in the game breaks, you have a set amount of time on a little island, a little map. And you'll be basically picking up 5 items, I think it is, usually. And it's all about picking the items up and beating it. Now, in 100%, you'll have to do those. But in any percent, you can just quit and the game tracks it as, oh, okay, yeah, you passed that. Even though, quite clearly, we haven't.
How much longer is the 100% run?
100% is, I'd say, probably like an extra 10-15 minutes maybe. Because some of these races we're actually not doing and winning first try. So you have to be getting maximum points on most of the events. And like I said, luckily on 80% you don't have to. It's just all about getting through the events as fast as possible. But yeah, I think 100% is like an extra, maybe like an extra 5 or 10 minutes or something like that. Might be a bit more, like 20 minutes, I could be wrong, but it's not too much longer, I know that. So, this slalom race, for me, has always been a bit of a pain. I don't know why, but I always find it a bit tricky. So, there's two ways of going around this. And, again, I don't know what the fastest route is off my heart, but there's a lot of jumps in this one that you want to kind of make sure you time well. And if needs be, use the handbrake and the brakes. Like, for example, me using the brake and the handbrake is just making me get through this quite well. Now, I can go through the small rings if I want to. But the multicoloured ones, by the way. So, this is something I haven't mentioned. So, the green, yellow, and red are basically like standard points. However, if you go through the other coloured ones, what happens with them ones is the other colour ones actually are like double points. Also, you can even just skip these if you want to do that. So even on some of these, it's not even compulsory that you like drive through. Like, for example, here, I can just skip half of these. Get a bit of boost, get some points there. Like that. You can also get the triple points through here as well. So basically we're already near our target, which is where we want to be. So I can get like triple points here and then again at the finish line there. Just like that. Easy peasy. So, we've actually gotten to the end of Tiki Island. And this is the final race there. It's called Gate of Forest. Now this actually has two shortcuts. There's one right near the start here, which hopefully we're going to get. I think we have. Yes, we have. Good stuff. So it doesn't quite matter about this first one, because the first lap is never that good. You can never do too well on the first lap. So we've got enough boost and everything like that. So there's a bunch of teeth in front of us, and what we want to do is want to be sure that we're boosting and we're in the middle of the ramp to hit the shortcut. Just so that we can get the shortcuts on both of the tracks. So, for example, most of these tracks don't really require boost or anything like that. They don't really have too many, like, upper layers, if I can call it that. So, if I wanted to, I could actually just use a bit of my boost here. Like so. But I don't want to use too much because I've got the second lap to do, so. We're going to grab the first key again, like I mentioned. Just like that. Going to go through. Now, I'm hopefully going to get both of the keys. It doesn't matter if I don't lose too much time, but if I do get these, then it's a lot better. Oh, not quite. Missed it. I think I need to do a front flip or something there. Never mind. So it's ideal that you're, it's ideal that you're getting the boost and everything like that. And also, because I messed up my flips from before, it means that I'm gonna lose a lot of time on this one. Not too much, thankfully. I do need the boost anyway, but so I can't boost on this last corner, unfortunately. Just because I need the boost for the race, for the last lap. So I'm gonna have to just kind of play it easy and let's hope this time we get it. So again, we get the first one, nice and easy. Use the booster pad, cut through them two bombs like so. Yeah, we got it. We got it. Nice. So that allows us to cut through this shortcut here. Like so. And we also need to dodge all of that. Luckily, because we got the flames, we can just boost and hit some more flames. So what I now need to try and do is, if I can do it, is try and boost around these last two corners. Nice. Yeah, I got it. Good stuff. Okay, so we win cars, and also one of the cars that we've just won, that was actually the last car that we're going to be using. So this is Zero Gravity Zone. And Zero Gravity Zone is basically like your sci-fi, so to speak. It's basically like a sci-fi. It's your sci-fi one basically. So we're gonna try and boost up here if we can. Nice. I think we landed. We got it. Yes, we did. Came first as well. Nice. Okay, so you may have noticed already, Zero Gravity Zone. This is basically your sci-fi space world. I have to admit, this doesn't have one of my favourite, it has one of my least favourite, like, soundtracks, I'd say. It's not too great, but it's not bad either. Funnily enough, the guy at the end always goes off, so you can get, like, a nice little nudge from them guys. I don't know why, it always happens, every time. Always happens. So it's like, oh hey look, it's the solar system and the sun and all the planets.
It's like a great concept for a level. Very impressive looking at it for the first time.
It definitely feels like you're in a space level. Although, don't mention it to the guy from the Lego movie because he'll want to build a spaceship, apparently. If he sees all this, he'll be like, spaceship! Spaceship! Also, you can go around them bombs on the right-hand side, so I feel like that might be a better way of going into this corner. Just so that you can... Well, that last corner, should I say. Just so that you can get through it a bit faster. And you can actually... if you want, you can actually get a bit more speed through here. It doesn't take too much away, but like for example these last few corners, I've done these last few corners with having the boost on and it is terrifying, but it's definitely worth it when you get to the start finish line. Like for example, we've got some boost now. So I often use the boost, like I said, I often use the boost when I go up the ramps because not only you might be sat on a higher up ledge, like so, you can also reboost your boost bar doing flips, which is pretty cool. So I kind of limit myself on how many rolls that I do in the end. Now I'm just going to boost all the way to the end. Nice. So we've got a game break coming up next. You know what that means? So it's literally just a case of how fast can you get out of the menu and then back into the game again. Just be aware as well when you are doing that one that anything can happen. Also, here's where things get fairly more interesting, because now what happens is we're going to try and get some flames, as he keeps telling us, get some flames. So this one is a mind-boggling and a half, because I never know where to get, like, where to do the boosting.
We're coming to you live from high above the Stunt Track Challenge Stadium in
Nice. Came second, that's good. Again, it doesn't matter if I lose, like, time on any, you know, if I come second in some of these races. As long as you win the game show in the end, it's fine. So, this is actually a funny one, because on this one, what happens is, you don't actually need the boost because you're going to be going at the speed of light here. So we're going to be going quite high with this one. Very high indeed. This one actually has a few pain. So there's this one here. So you have to be very careful. That one's not too bad. The second one is probably the worst. Especially getting through it first time. Also, something to note is that if you boost going up them big booster ramps, you think, oh, you get even more speed. No, you'd actually lose a lot of speed. Now, I could actually boost through here. But again, I'll rather let the speeder pads do that boosting for me. As you can see, the car does ridiculous speeds. Because that's what Hot Wheels does, apparently. So this is the bit I was on about before. So getting through here, without getting hit, you can take it easy. Or you can just boost it all the way through. And we ideally want to try and line ourselves up correctly with the first bit here. Nice. Good stuff. So if you land on that first one, then what ends up happening is you will basically finish the level much faster than you normally would. And then, yeah, everything else is pretty straightforward. So, here's Tower Climb. So, Tower Climb has a fun little trick up its sleeve, which, being honest, I didn't know about this until I saw a run of this. So, on this particular one, there's actually two start-finish points. So, first one is you go through and do the level like you normally would. There's nothing different about doing the level normally. However, when we get about a certain distance up, I forget whereabouts it is. So that was quite convenient that I did that. So when you get to up here like this, you just jump into the zone. Because there's actually two zones for where you can finish that level. Also, say goodbye to the Super Toon truck, because this is going to be its last race. Unfortunately, it served us well, but it's going to get a final flourish, final send-off. And we're going to do a couple of races. We're going to do this one, which is called Satellite Mission. So luckily, this actually gives us some speed. Very nice speed, actually, I might add. Very nice, very nice. So I'm going to go up there, and then hopefully I can gain some of the speed back through here. So you have to try and get in front of this guy if you can, a bit before he does. Basically, if you can get in front of that guy before here, then you'll obviously be a lot better in the clear. Most of the time you won't really need to boost around here, to be honest. Because the boost actually does it for you. So if I show you what I mean. I'm not boosting here, the game's doing it for me. I'm just sitting on the boost pads. So, apart from that straight, you can literally just sit on the booster pads the whole way. And it'll top your speed out. Like it's nothing. It's like, oh yeah, you got some boost, but you won't need it. Now, you probably could use boost through here, but I've never been the one to try it. Again, sticking with the booster pads if we can. And he always tells you to get some flames, which is basically pick some boost up, damn it. I'd say it's like the game's way of saying, hey, you know there's boost around the track. You need to boost. You need to use that stuff. So depending on how this race goes, we might actually be ahead even more of my PB, which would be very nice. And if my last game show goes well, then even better. So I'm going to clip.
Excellent news. It's always good to hear of a PB.
Because I did this run the other day and I lost about a minute or so in one of the races, which is where I've gained most of my time saved from. Before that I was down by about 15 seconds, but like I said, even like my summer best at the moment is like a late 54. But for the time being, it's not too bad. It's good. Nice. Yep, still ahead. Good stuff. Okay, so finally we get to Lava Land. Now Lava Land is an interesting one. So what I need to do here is I need to bash all of these barrels as fast as I can without hitting, missing any. So some of these barrels I'm going to hit by complete accident. Some of them will be deliberate. So for example, I'm going to hit this one here, and then keep going here. Them ones. That one, that. There we go. Good stuff. Nice. So you get 1,000 points if you hit that. Also, now comes the sports car, which is the Prototype 12, or the HW Prototype 12. So the reason why we use this car is because the acceleration on it is pretty good. It doesn't have the best top speed compared to the trucks, but you are able to take the corners a lot smoother. Like, it grips the road so well. And because of the acceleration as well, it comes in very useful. Also, in case I didn't mention, we can use the AI to keep on the road and stay ahead, if needs be. So I don't really know of many other tricks for this run, so I think this will probably be it for like most of the run now, where it'll just be doing the rest of the trials. There's not really too many more tricks that you can do. So how I didn't get any boost there, I do not know.
It's all about those smooth racing lines now.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this race and a load of like little challenges that we're gonna do. And then we've got the last race, and then that's it really. So it's like a mix of a couple of events. I mean, we've still got like the extreme jumps to do and things like that, but the game's practically just very linear from here. There's not really too much else in terms of speed tech. It just is about going fast and hoping for the best, so to speak. Gotta get them flames, as he keeps telling me. It's like, get some flames. Oh yeah, and one other thing as well. For races, for events, for everything, you may notice that there's a green bar on the speedometer. So you've got a green bar and a red bar. If you hit the green bar, or you keep revs in that green bar, when the lights go green, or it says, ready, go. As soon as it says go, you get a boost start. Granted, it's not the best sort of boost start you can imagine in the racing game, because there is some racing games that provide very good boost starts. Not so much in this one, but it's there. There or thereabouts. So we're gonna boost through here, mainly because I know for a fact that I can gain some boost at the end here. Also gonna just boost all the way over. Nice, like that. Now I could probably boost through these corners, but just to be on the safe side, I'd rather not. Just take it a bit easy, you know, and not risk it. So you end up using your brakes. I use the handbrake quite a fair bit with this one, which doesn't really say a lot, I know, but using the handbrake is pretty easy to do once you get the grip of it. Using the sports cars for a run is probably ideal for a first run, because the trucks are, in my opinion, a lot more difficult to handle than the sports cars. Like, when we move from the trucks to the sports cars at the end of the run, that's actually kind of like bliss for me, because the game feels like it's a bit more playable. You know, like the cars are a bit more stuck to the ground and stuff like that. Nice. Nice. Okay, so we've got a game break coming up, which again we're gonna quit. and go back to the main menu. Now, one thing to mention actually is that you want to make sure that when you go back that you hover all the way up to you want to make sure you hover all the way up back to game show again, because if you don't, then what can end up happening is you'll end up having a big problem. That you'll end up going into the garage, and believe it or not, every time save is crucial. Also, the one particular the one particular one that you don't want to happen is you don't want to go too far forward in some of these rings. So, I know what you're probably thinking, hang on mate, you can see the start finish line down there, why can't you do that? But believe me, I've tried before, never done it in a run, but I've tried in offline practice to try and get through, and I could never ever get through to get to the end. So unfortunately there's no way of jumping to the end. There may be a way of doing it, but I've never managed it myself, personally. Nice. Come to think of it, that might be where the time save comes from. I don't know. Okay, so this is slalom, but it's not really slalom, being honest. It's just all about jumping through a load of big hoops, going up in the air a load of times. It's like, yeah, we'll go up in the air, why not? So the car does around 190 when it's maxed out. And ideally this is what you want to be doing. Just you can go around the outside or go through the middle. It really is up to you, whichever way you want to do it. Again, it doesn't really matter which way you do it. Especially for like this last part here, you can go all the way up or all the way over. So I've got like a little bit of time left here. Should be fine. Nice. It was a little bit faster. Okay, so I got a game break. This is actually going to be the last one, so luckily I won't need to do any of this menuing stuff again. So, we've got Speed Freak, which involves us having to go as fast as possible and evade what I like to call incoming projectiles. So there's a red and a blue marker that you've got to go through. If you go through the blue marker, you get more points. If you go through a red one, you lose points. Now, for me, it doesn't really much matter how many points you get at this point if you just go for the fastest way, which is the red ones here. It's this last bit where you want to like gain a lot more points. So for example, I usually take the right route here. Just so that you can do that. And you've got enough points to become second in that one. So, oh god. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, so this is the last event in the game, and believe it or not, time will actually be when I cross the line, so I'll let you know when time's going to be. So we got about 2 and a bit minutes. Oh boy. Interesting glitch, I've never had that before. I've never had an AI actually spin me around before. Interesting. That's fine. Oh, nice. Our pal here has just gone, yeah, I'm just going to open the door for you. It's like, cheers, dude. Our pal. Our own pal doing what he does best. So there's actually a few of these things in this one where you've got to land the right way up. Be very careful when you come down to land. So yeah, laps are about 50 seconds in this one, so shouldn't be too bad. Again, it's like minor details that will get this run down a lot quicker. Maybe there is new tactics, I don't know yet. To be fair, I've been using like the same tactics I used from when I started running the game properly. So the fact that I'm saving time is pretty good. Especially on my PB. So it's actually going to be an early 55, I think, this. By the looks of it, according to my splits anyway. Okay, so not got long to go now. So time's going to be coming up very shortly. And time.
Ooh, so did we get the PB?
We did indeed.
Congratulations in order. Oh, nice. How big was the PB?
It was by 53 seconds, so 55:17.
Wow, that's a huge PB.
It's still about a minute and 40 off, I think, off the record. But I'll take that. It's a good PB. That was very good.
Wow. Okay. Congratulations on the new PB. The good run continues. The good form.
Exactly.
Right. Thank you so much to the BPG running Hot Wheels Stunt Track Challenge Any. Is there any shout outs you want to give? Any plugs you want to make?
Just quickly to just quickly to my community of guys that follow me on Twitch already and everything like that. For those that have stuck by me over the years and especially over the course of this year, which I know hasn't been an easy year for anybody. But also to Cheesy Monster, the Blind Runner guys, you know, some of the guys from the Hot Wheels community as well that have made this game even more fun to play and found out a few new tactics of their own, I think. But yeah, it's been an absolute blast. Thanks again to Thunderthon for having me for the second time round. I very much appreciate that. I'll be back, I'm sure, with another racing game, as only I can do, usually. But yeah, apart from that, I just want to say, like I said, thanks again for having me. Have a good rest of the marathon, guys, and be sure to get your support in for the charity. It's all for a good cause. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much for coming back again. Yeah, it's really awesome to have you here, and hopefully at the next one we'll get another PB record. Let's go. Thank you so much.
Alright, thank you.